Welcome to this conversation that we've been doing. We've been trying to address the issues of agony in marriage, the pain, the strong pain, struggles that people are going through in marriage. And in the process, we came to a topic that is called broken covenants. And we spoke about how many marriages are existing without a covenant, without an agreement that people agreed on to stay with. And in the process now, we are dealing with sexual cheating in marriage. And in sexual cheating, we want to help us to understand what is sexual cheating in marriage, what entails sexual cheating in marriage, and what are the behaviors of sexual cheating in marriage. And now we came to this place that we are talking about sexual cheating in marriage. And our sexual cheating in marriage, we want to address the issues of how to understand a sexual cheating, the behaviors of sexual cheating in marriage, the psychology of sexual cheating in marriage. We are trying to help us until we come to the places of causes and how we are going to handle it and how somebody is coming to get out of it. I know that many marriages are going through sexual cheating. I know that many people have been hurt and have been injured in marriage because of sexual cheating. Many are suffering because of guilt of sexual cheating. And one of the questions that I would ask myself at the end of this, is it possible to forgive a sexual cheating? Can a marriage succeed and survive after a sexual cheating? Thank you, welcome, and go and continue with us in this conversation.
We take this opportunity again to continue with the discussions of conversations with Reverend Allan, and we want to continue with agony in marriage, broken covenant, sexual cheating. And we just want to have a very interactive session with you guys and with us in the panel. I just want to take this opportunity to introduce our psychological counselor, Janet Surum Kiplagat. Welcome to this wonderful conversation. I want to recognize the presence of Vicar S.K. Belgut, Reverend Nicholas Lortich, as I hand over this session to our host, Reverend Allan, just to begin this conversation with us about agony in marriage, breaking covenant, sexual cheating. Welcome, Reverend Allan.
Thank you also for this day, and thank you for moderating us. We started a topic, agony in marriage. We wanted to address the pain that people are going through in marriage. And in the process, we began to deal with covenant, broken covenant in marriage. And we dealt with so many things that has led us into dealing with cheating in marriage. And as we speak about cheating in marriage, we do not exclude the fact that we have other cheating apart from sexual cheating in marriage. The other cheating like financial, like time, like emotional, a lot of other infidelity in marriage. But we wanted to narrow down on sexual cheating in marriage so that we may help maybe a marriage, maybe a family, maybe an individual that are going through sexual cheating in marriage. And that's why today we are dealing with cheating in marriage. Sexual cheating in marriage.
Thank you for that introductory remark. We want to continue discussing about sexual cheating, and we want to put a disclaimer that it's not about sex alone. There's the issue with finance, emotional, time, and other examples of infidelity. But in this show, we want to handle sexual cheating. And I want to begin with a normal layman question for us to understand what is sexual cheating in marriage. What is sexual cheating in marriage?
Okay, what is in my mind as we discuss sexual cheating in marriage, as you have put a disclaimer, it's not limited to sexual acts outside marriage. But I would say it is sexual involvement between more than one person, but it must involve a partner who is in a marriage covenant. The moment sexual involvement is done with people outside that bracket of a covenant, that's what we call a sexual cheating in marriage. If one of us, if a spouse, one of a spouse, let us say a husband or a wife, gets involved into sexual affair, sexual activity with someone else rather than their partner, their covenant partner, that's what I refer to as sexual cheating in marriage.
Vika, what is your understanding on cheating sexually?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Vivian. Let's begin from what we discussed last week. And we were discussing that people make promises and vows during marriage. and saying that they will remain true till death do us part. That is what they were saying and what we were saying. And the duties that are encompassed in it, remaining true, it is for poorer, for richer, in health, in sickness, and blah, blah, blah. And then those are the things. And within that as well, people are called to say, remain also true to one another, as in my body is your body, and you belong to each other. And now, when you have that covenant, when you have that relationship, when you have that agreement, yeah, yes, that is what is said. Yes, you belong to each other. And when you think of going outside that promise, outside that covenant, that is when we say you are an infidel. You are going outside what was agreed upon. Now, when we say you are going outside that which you agreed upon, either willfully or unwillfully, then you are cheating. So you are cheating on one's promise. You are cheating on one's agreement. That is what I mean.
Janet, what qualifies cheating? Why do we call this term cheating, sexual cheating?
I perceive sexual cheating as a very intense, emotional, and romantic affair with someone outside the covenant relationship. Yeah.
It can be a husband or a wife.
Yeah, either side.
Either side. So, when we're talking about understanding sexual cheating, we need to understand the word cheating. Help us understand, maybe Reverend Vika, and we can discuss this. It's a doing verb, a doing word. Cheating. What is cheating?
I think cheating comes from lies. It's lying, making someone to believe differently from how things are, bringing a different perception from the original one. I would say it's like living a lie in your marriage. It's like lying to your partner, not telling them the truth that I am not only with you, but I am now going outside you. Because remember, our premise, our foundational statement is sexual purity. It is husband and wife. Like Vika said the other time, you narrow. So you have narrowed to your spouse. Now, when you get outside, it's like you are lying to your partner that I've still narrowed to my spouse, but I am outside. Yeah.
Yes, and cheating in this case is it is truly not saying the truth, going outside that which we know it is true, and it involves it's a kind of clandestine activity, which is not it has not serviced, or even if it has serviced, it is done secretly, and the other one will not abide by what you are doing. So, and that is where the cheating is, and that is why, in fact, in English it is said cheating on someone. Cheating on someone is that you have a spouse, but then you do have activities that you are supposed to do with that spouse, which are rightfully, or yes, they are right. But then if you engage yourself with another person without the consent and knowledge of your spouse, then it is cheating.
Thank you. Janet, do you have anything to say on this
maybe
word, cheating?
Maybe to be contextual, I'd say if you're doing something, or if you're saying something that is not, that you cannot tell your spouse, that you have to delete evidence, then you're cheating.
Maybe I can ask. Reverend said you are doing it without the knowledge of your spouse or consent. Let us say when the spouse get to know about it, will it still be called cheating in marriage?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, let's move on and discuss about types of sexual cheating in marriage. What are types of the affairs that we get to understand so that we can enlighten ourselves and others? What are some of these types that we can qualify as sexual cheating?
Maybe I would start and then we'll proceed. I find number one, I would say it is accidental affair. Accidental affair. It's such a that someone finds themselves cheating. They had not planned it. They had not contemplated it for a long time. It is not a conspiracy. It is situational in nature. A man and a woman find themselves in a compromising position, maybe a place of work, maybe in the house alone, maybe someone is working far away from their home, and then they find themselves in a situation whereby they discover that they have cheated on their spouses. And that's why you hear someone regretting and telling you, I've cheated on my spouse. I have cheated on my spouse. I didn't plan it, but I've cheated on her, or I've cheated on him. Maybe people have found themselves traveling together, or maybe someone is hurt and he bumps into another hand that looks like it was going to comfort them, and then in the process, she or he finds himself self in a compromising situation. So I would say number one, it's accidental, and most cheatings normally start as an accidental affair. An accidental affair. Sometimes it's just it was casual friendship. It was casual friendship, and in this casual friendship, they find themselves tight to a level that they would not want to be. And then maybe number two, for so that I may allow others, I liked one that we spoke about, philandera. Philandera, somebody that just enjoys sleeping with other people, especially men. Someone that enjoys sleeping with many women for adventure, for excitement. Sizes and shapes. You just want to see how is this one testing, how is the other one testing. Just enjoying themselves. A bullish, a malish behavior, an animal behavior kind of. You just want to sleep with as many. And philandera can sleep with many people even in one day. It's him or hers, excitement, adventure. He wants to test. He wants to feel things.
Isn't it not a sexual disorder?
No, it's not a disorder. It is just a social inclination. These people that we call mafisi, we know you have categories of mafisi. Now this one is the real fisi.
So sometimes when you do counseling with philanderas, there is a history. Why?
There's a history.
There's the issue of abuse. There is the issue of sometimes when you discuss philandering, it qualifies itself as a sexual disorder.
Sexual addiction is the sexual disorder. There's another type of affair that we refer to as sexual addiction. That one is now, and it now qualifies for disorder. Yeah.
Okay. So we have this philanderer who enjoys having sex with different shapes of women,
It's
colors,
like a hobby.
races, and height.
Yes.
Actually, this philandera, I think among affairs, philandera tops, because they cannot spare anyone.
How do you know you're marrying a philanderer?
Maybe you'll not know that you're marrying a philandera because maybe they hide.
And how do we qualify cheating with a philanderer? Because it's part and parcel. It's a hobby.
The problem with now having a cheat with a philandera, they cannot be rescued. They cannot be rescued. It is something that we say it is just innate. You see, they get out of here, they look at someone, they want them. They are with someone, those people even who keep driving and they
Or admiring
admire
somebody across the road.
yeah, sexually.
Actually, it's a hobby. It's something like a hobby. Someone enjoys it. Yeah.
It's a thrill.
I would agree with you to some level. It can be a disorder. To some level, it can develop into an addiction and a disorder. But on a general outlook, it is normally a behavior. Just somebody somebody has picked something. For us spiritual people would say he has a demon of immorality.
But sometimes when you look at these philanderers and you ask them, they are like saying, all along I've been like this. So how do we qualify philandering as cheating?
You know, cheating is, a philanderer cannot tell his wife, I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the wife of a philanderer enjoys, because a philanderer is a lover.
Mm-hmm.
He enjoys the husband so much.
Mm-hmm.
So the wife of a philanderer thinks that I'm the only woman in this man's life. But he will sleep with your maid, he will sleep with your sister. If she visits you, he will sleep even with your auntie if she comes to visit you.
Mm-hmm.
Your friends, she will
Your
sleep with them.
house
It is it thrills him.
Yes,
Okay.
and we should as well qualify that it is not only men, but also women.
But the percentage,
But unfortunately,
Higher percentage,
Yes,
a higher percentage,
I know,
higher percentage,
yes.
higher percentage,
unfortunately,
Don't make
99% are men.
higher percentage.
Avoid trouble.
Yes,
And you know,
yes.
it's like when men are cheating, it's the order of the day. When women are cheating, even in the Bible, you see, the adulterous woman.
Yes,
was
always
not
maybe
allowed.
they
Even
are
though we
not-
are
Okay.
philanderer women.
No, they are not philanderer women, except with very
Very
few,
philandering.
very few like Rahab.
Okay.
But now, very few like Rahab that we call them prostitutes. For women, we call them prostitutes. For men, we
No.
call them philanderers.
Did you see? Yes, we
No,
get into
women-
philanderer
women-
men,
Mhm.
philanderer men are referred to as womanizers.
Mhm.
Philanderer women are referred to as Casanovas.
Casanovas,
Yes.
It's a prostitute. They are
No.
prostitutes.
No,
A
it's not
prostitute is a
really a
different thing.
prostitute.
A Casanova is.
It's just a philanderer. You know, a prostitute does it for money.
But you know, Casanovas, where they stay? They stay in bars. They stay in what we call these games that men play with money. It's called casinos. They stay in. They are pole dancers.
You see, Vivian,
Mm.
Not all prostitutes are Casanovas.
Mhm.
There are prostitutes who are prostitutes purely for business.
Mhm.
But there are prostitutes who are prostitutes because it's a good field to enjoy sex.
Yeah.
They just go there they have everything, but they are just going there to enjoy sex. And the best place is a brothel, or is a casino, or is a discotheque.
There is a story that was aired years back about this Asian woman who is a sexual therapist, and then she confessed that she has slept with over 1,000 men. Where does she fall?
A Casanova.
No,
She's a
she-
sexual therapist. You go there to be trained how to have good sex.
She's in work.
you see now the problem. That one leads us to something else.
Yeah.
That is a conversational intimacy
Mhm.
that leads to real intimacy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And maybe again,
is-
according to her, doing sex with those men is part of a medicine to them. She's offering a service. She can be a prostitute now. She's offering a service. See, you are talking about therapy.
Yeah, she's a
Sexual-
therapist. And
sexual therapist.
A lot of men enjoy going there.
So he discovers that
Not women.
part of the problems of this man is can be healed and can be cured by.
Vika,
Yes,
what are some of the types of sexual cheating?
Yes,
Pastor has talked about accidental affairs
accidental,
and then philandering.
philanderer.
Yes. I
Talk
still have a
about,
lot of things about that.
Intimacy.
Mhm.
Yeah, intimacy in terms of a person actually you feel at the workplace or any other place is that you discuss sexual. We have sexual language in the offices, in the workplace, wherever it is, in cars, wherever, and so you develop some intimacy. The type of intimacy where you become so intimate with a particular person, yeah, and then you pick an affair from there. It could be as well, kwamba you are running away from your marital problems, challenges that you are facing, and so you find some kind of solace elsewhere. It is like, kind of, put it simply, that if this one has gone off, then also I should go off, and so you become intimate to another person, and you pick up an affair with another person. Simply say, akiapisha ninaapisha, akitoka hata mimi ninatoka. And so that is what it is. It is a kind of revenge. It's kind of revenge. He did this or she did this to me,
side of intimacy affair is these people who avoid confrontation, they seek solace elsewhere.
Yeah.
And there are this kind of either a man or a woman, they don't want to confront their spouse. They go to this person who understands them more
Yes.
better. There's like, I'm not getting this from my husband, I get it from this manager of mine.
Yes.
I'm not getting this from my wife, I'm getting it from my house girl. Maybe the husband wants a meal and the wife is shouting, but when the husband orders the house girl prepare a meal, she's like, yes sir, and the meal is ready. So you begin to say, why don't I look for ways of survival?
Yes.
I think an intimacy affair develops as a way of survival.
I can say it. Sometimes it's out of a perceived need that someone perceives that I miss this kind of need from my spouse. I need sex, but she can't give me. But I don't want confrontation. I need attention. I need care. So in the process, this person is a bargainer. He bargains that I want to keep my marriage, but I want this need must be met. So there's this colleague at work that listens to me. He will meet this need. There is this my maid, my house girl is very considerate. She will meet this need, but I will still maintain my wife as a place of a wife. Yeah.
The Shamba boy will run very quickly. Yes. To women, and
That's
they
what
get man.
Potiphar's wife was trying to do with Joseph.
Yes. Janet, what are some of other affairs that we can find we classify as sexual cheating?
We have an affair called entitlement affair,
Mhm.
where there are two dynamics here. The first one is it could be because of celebrity power. I mean, there's someone who's more powerful than the other. You meet, let's say you meet a certain famous politician, and then you find yourself vulnerable because of the power that they have over you. And the same case applies to boss whatever relationship. Like in a workplace, someone may sleep with their boss because of the entitlement feeling. The boss feels entitled, and this person feels vulnerable to this other person. And then again, I classify entitlement as revenge, a revenge affair. Someone feels that this person went out, and now for me to heal, for me to get over this, I must go out. They feel entitled because the other person went out. And then we also have what we call the split self affair. And this one happens especially in midlife crisis. We have been doing this marriage together. We have reached an age, we have reached 40s there. And now our responsibility all along has been bringing up children, maintaining the family, doing my wifely duties, doing my father duties, things like that. And then a point comes in your life that you feel the need for so much affection and attention. You see? Now you want to fill the void that has been lacking in all those years. That one is also a very big cause of affairs in marriage. So it means that couples need to move along together at every stage of life.
When we talk about midlife crisis, it then qualifies the statement that there are some ages when either a man or a woman reaches have a tendency of sexual cheating.
Yes.
Specifically, which ages?
40 to 60, 65. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because now things are settling down.
You don't have, like, it's for the man, he doesn't have a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah.
So it feels like there's need for sharing.
There's need for
And I think
sharing.
the woman again has the issue with menopause and hot flashes. They don't like sex
Yeah.
at that time. Yes, Reverend.
and maybe I wanted to say on entitlement, but I can say on the split. Also, apart from settling down, apart from maybe the woman is reaching menopause, also for a person has resources, they can facilitate their cheating behavior. You know,
Yeah.
it is expensive to to facilitate a cheating behavior. So when you have resources, it becomes easier. And then another thing also is you are fighting with your age. You feel like I'm growing old. So the sexual man in you is telling you, no, I'm not growing. You are in denial. You are denying your age. That's why the moment you begin to hit 40, there is a subconscious that I'm growing old. But there is something inside of you fighting that I'm not growing old. And one way of assuring you that you're not growing old is getting out. And that's why you'll discover they are beginning to look to look for younger people. If it's a man, a younger girl. If it's a woman, a younger boy, just to assure their muscles.
themselves.
About entitlement, what I wanted to add on what Janet says is, people love power. People love power, and someone who is above you, like a politician, like someone, a celebrity, someone that draws attentions of people, they carry a certain power that everyone would want to associate with, both male and female. So sometimes people think, like, if I sleep with this one, it has some thrills. It's not that they like that person, but if someone of power comes around you, they say, I better sleep with this person. It is an ego fulfilling event. You fulfill your ego, you satisfy your ego, and then again you say, I cannot deny someone who is in my power. I have to respect this person, and one way is to submit to that person sexually. Human beings are submissive in nature, so the moment power comes to them, they submit, and one of submission is sexual submission.
Interesting. Do men submit sexually, really? Do the male man submit sexually, really? Maybe we can discuss it later. We take a short break and we will be right back. Follow us on our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, Conversations with Reverend Allan, Sexual Cheating in Marriage. We will be right back. Okay, as we continue to discuss, maybe I think this question I will ask Reverend Allan and Avika. What involves sexual cheating? And then Janet will come and give us the psychology of cheating. What involves sexual cheating? Reverend Allan, I know you've handled a lot of marital issues. The first place people run to when there is issues with marriage is the pastor. It's the pastor. Pastor, pray for me. Pastor, I want to see you. And maybe I want to ask you too, from your pastoral office and experience, what involves sexual cheating?
Now, when you speak about what involves, what entails sexual cheating, I would speak about the content in cheating. What are the contents? What are the ingredients in what we call cheating? And I would say, as I said, it's neither a process nor an instantaneous thing. What goes on that we call it a cheating? Now, I would say the very one that I normally encounter is flirting. Flirting is having a spicy conversation, sometimes verbal, sometimes non-verbal conversations that will always involve sexual content in nature. It is giving your emotional self to the other person apart from your spouse. In the process, you are fulfilling the other person as you fulfill yourself, and you are draining your store of fulfilling your spouse. So flirting is a major one. Every time you flirt, every time you like telling somebody you are so beautiful, you tell somebody you are so sexy, you keep on telling somebody, I like the way you are talking. That one involves flirting. I like the way you are carrying yourself. There's a lot of flirting. When you do that, you don't tell the other person, you keep on telling this other person. Or even if you are telling your person, you are sharing what you should be telling your spouse with another person. So I would say number one behavior is flirting. Flirting is a common one. Number two, I would speak about chatting. Actually, especially in these days of phones, or even without phone, you just like chatting with somebody, phone calling, talking with this somebody for a long time, sharing, speaking everything, laughing a lot. By the time you are going home, your social part is already fulfilled. You find somebody with a phone speaking with somebody of opposite sex for a long time, talking almost everything and talking almost nothing, laughing for everything and laughing over nothing. That is a part of flirting, chatting, encouraging one another, discussing issues, becoming partners in so many things. That's part of chatting.
Yes, thank you. And also to continue is that people share gifts. And by the way, we must make a point here by saying that people do good things to them. Yeah? And especially when they are cheating, it's not necessarily that they are doing the wrong things, the bad things, but they are doing good things. And so in terms of giving a gift, investing, yeah, yes, people share and people buy you gifts, people give you money, people aid you, bail you out of your financial predicaments. And so that is one thing that people do when they are, that is the behavior. That's the behavior. Another one is that people discussing more of, as I said earlier, more of sex, more of yes, sexual language, be it at the workplace or anywhere else, where get into almost every office, get into almost every social place, and the agenda and that the deliberation is about the three-lettered word sex. And they discuss so much into it until they engage in it. Much as it is theory, it becomes practical at some stage.
Yeah.
Any other thing?
Maybe sex texting, sex texting,
Sexting.
exchanging nudes.
What about sharing personal or private information?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sharing
Now,
personal
I want
private
to ask you
information.
as
Yeah.
pastors, you have been misunderstood a lot. You've been misunderstood a lot. And I want to ask your position, because now when we talk about gift giving, you receive gifts, maybe shirts, watches, shoes, and mostly people who give gifts to you are women. And then there's the issue of emotional support. How do you draw the boundary as because I've seen this is something that has been prejudiced, has been misjudged, and there are undertones. There are undertones whereby people feel that some of the things that pastors do actually qualify cheating. Some of the things pastors do, especially with the opposite sex. I can be a female pastor and a male person comes to me. I can be a male pastor and a female pastor comes to me. Maybe help us understand or clarify and give us a position.
You know, there's something we call sexual message. Like for instance, one of the cheating is attention. You can give somebody attention, and that attention will have a sexual message. It will be communicating a sexual relationship. This one is giving me a better attention than my spouse. This one is giving me attention. It looks like my own spouse is listening, is attending to me. So every time you receive a gift from somebody, every time you receive anything from somebody, it is good always to know if it is carrying a sexual message, either to you or to that person or to anybody around you people. I would actually say, as you keep on ministering to people, you also see the needs that they have. We easily know the needs of the people, and sometimes you minister to those who have sexual needs and needs for their attention, and when they bring those things, it communicates to them. They are satisfying their parts that they cannot do to their spouses. I want to buy this gift to my spouse, but I cannot buy it to my spouse. Therefore, I am buying it to the pastor. Therefore, it carries a sexual content in itself. I would say the time that I give this person, And after some time, I discovered that this one now is no longer enjoying the spiritual nourishment. Now, this one is beginning to enjoy my emotional self, getting so excited with my language, my physical self, and all those things, and the attention that I give them. We have already crossed the border. You know, crossing the border can be consciously or unconsciously. Both of you may be knowing that you have crossed the border, or one of you may be knowing that you have crossed the border and the other one is innocent. But as a pastor, I think it's actually my duty to draw the professional boundary versus the other boundary. Yeah.
Yes, it's very, very dicey. That drawing line, yeah, crossing the Rubicon. Actually, in terms of saying this one has gone beyond the border, is very, very, we may not ascertain that. But then the thing is, what I said is that people have a tendency of doing good things to a person, and they don't declare the interest until when at some point they declare and say, you know, I came to your fundraising, and I gave you that money for that kid to go to school, blah blah blah. Now I pay back. That is the time that they declare the interest. People do good things to us, yeah, and we don't know the intentions of people. We don't judge, because those are the things that are inside a human being, are secret. And so, if, say, for my personal experience is that people have given me gifts. People haven't come to me seeking pastoral counseling and that pastoral support. They don't declare the intentions that I've come because I need you, or that people have told me they love me. I'm not so sure whether they love me for sex or they love me, the love of well, the agape love. I've been told people myself, I love you. And one quipped and asked, hey, which love? Then I asked them, what type of love do you know? And then they went, so long as it is the love of Christ. How do you qualify the love of Christ? The love of Christ is dying on the cross. And for me, if you to die on the cross, if I die for you, Vivian, is that someone would say, oh, now this one went too far. And so many of the things that we are talking about, when we are saying we are giving gifts, yes, we need to be almost every moment asking people, yes, I'm giving you this gift, or you are giving me this gift. What are the strings here? And if the strings are bordering sex, yeah, then you say, no, I don't want it.
But again, I don't think it even limits to pastors only.
Oh, yes.
If today somebody's wife calls you, or somebody's husband calls you and tells you, I want to share with you some things. He meets you, he begins to share with you about his marital issues, the pain, the struggle that he's going through in marriage, the trouble that the wife is bringing. You're already in a sexual relationship, unless it is within your calling or your profession. If it is just sharing with you because you are a friend, you're already trespassing the boundary. Our jobs are defined. We are people of color. It is already our collar is cut. A counselor, her collar is cut. But somebody just calls you a lay person, a colleague, and say, I want to share with you, and then she begins to tell you, oh, my husband serves me, oh, my husband is not giving me attention, all these things. Already you are just entertaining. Maybe you are strong, but you are still entertaining. So it even goes beyond the pastor. The boundaries sometimes is very hard unless you just define it yourself.
And maybe we have just limited cheating, actually involvement of sexual cheating into flirting, discussing the sex language, gift giving, and sex testing. What about?
We have not limited. We are still going
What
on.
about, maybe I just ask, what about giving out money for sex?
Yeah.
What about that?
I think gifts, I think paying rent for somebody, buying properties for people, paying school fees for people. Those ones involve sex cheating. You discover nowadays we have sponsor. A sponsor is somebody who takes care of your needs. And for sexual relationship, that one involves cheating. So it even giving favor in places of work, it involves cheating. There's some favors that are funny. They are not normal. So it concentrates because of the sexual relationship that people are having. Yeah.
Just allow me to add something.
Please do.
Tempting is also a behavior of cheats. You see, you dress up, but you're dressing up with someone in mind. I come to see the pastor, but I'm coming with something in mind. I'm coming to tempt. That is also a behavior of cheats. Again,
Maybe your boss is calling you in and you loosen your...
yeah. Also, suggestiveness.
Seduction.
Actually, suggestiveness. Yeah, so if I chat with someone at 10 at night, and this person is not even someone, I cannot show my husband that one. It's actually, I'm a cheat. And it is growing. It is growing slowly by slowly. Also, when people play mind games on each other, it's a cheat. Like, let's meet tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes, I was not able. Why can't you just say no?
Okay.
I'm involved with someone else, things like that. And also presenting yourself as a savior of someone. You see? And I think that I even wanted to say, when the pastors were discussing, I wanted to say that even when someone when someone comes for or presents those gifts, etc., it is also helpful for you as an individual to share with your spouse that this person brought this and this person said this and this. And then, of course, again, you say this, I love you with the love of Christ. You know, the way, Pastor, you tell us, I love you with the love of Christ. You have defined the love. But people will mistake you when you say I love you. They'll say, oh, Pastor, amenianzia.
So you need to finish the sentence
I
with
love
the
you with the love of Christ.
Thank you.
And
Is it agreeable to you?
The Reverend asked, do you qualify the love of Christ?
And that is what I'm saying. You know, the thing is,
To avoid questions
agape,
like
yes,
which
yes,
love,
we need
Yeah.
to be-
you need to
and that is
finish.
what I was
I love you
saying.
with the
That is
love of
what I was
Christ.
saying.
But I think again, the word I love you, you need to study your environment.
Yeah.
You need, it's like these things of hugging. Others are hugging and others, it means some things to other people. These things of here, these things of here. So you actually need to define your environment, number one. Number two, sometimes you can avoid such words because a word I love you is, even when somebody puts it with the love of Christ, it carries a deeper thing. It is very provocative in nature.
Yeah.
Very provocative in nature.
Do you hear that,
There
Vika?
are churches, actually in churches is where people keep on hugging. But I would tell you, it is not so innocent. It brings some kind of joy to some people. There are some people position themselves to be hugged. It brings some kind of joy. There are some people who are pecked here. I tell you, it's not it provokes something. It provokes the love mind. It provokes the sexual mind. So I would think sometimes is the society is a little bit trying to entertain, to give a room for it, maybe to take care of others. But you can avoid some things. But there are cultures like Western culture, I see them hugging so easily and
Saying I love you.
they have grown into it. But you tell it to somebody that is going through pain in their marriage. They have been starved in their marriage. You are actually telling that person, I am an alternative, I am a savior.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's
if
the
we-
issue.
yeah, if we say in a church service and maybe we used to be singing, and would you greet somebody in Jesus' name? Would you tell them that you love them? Yeah, tell somebody, smile at your neighbor. Yeah, tell them you are beautiful. That kind of language. That kind of language. So today's language is full of sexuality. And talk, for example, almost we are ambiguous, so that our verbs of late is actually full of sex. Talk, for example, kufanya or what, whatever word that we say, we tend to put sex in it. And so our languages are full of sex, so much so that what Reverend is saying, we are trying to almost accept that it's okay. And so we need to, again, maybe draw the boundaries in double red line and say, this is it. Don't cross beyond here. Fine.
Maybe the issue of kissing, the issue of dates, lunch dates. Those are sexual behaviors:
Yep.
lunch dates, kissing,
Coffee
and
dates.
these names. I think what names? Because dear,
Sweetheart.
how do
Pet
we
names.
how do we define those pet names?
Some are bordering towards flirting.
Uh-huh.
On the
But you know,
board.
people want to make it easy. You know, dear,
Sweetie.
sweetie, honey.
Mm.
Those are love languages.
Mhm.
They are sex languages. But you know, the society has accepted it. Even though the society has accepted it, it has not stopped sending sexual message. It is still, it make people easy to start. And actually, as Pastor says, it's a safe language. If someone wants to take offense, you say, no, I was just calling you dear. If someone plays along, you can continue now. You can move from dear to honey.
Yeah.
If someone now wants to take offense, you say, you see, we're so close, that's why I'm calling you honey. If someone plays along now, you go to something else. Because we have said cheating sometimes can be a process. It's a journey.
It's a process.
You make it more acceptable by day. By the time you are doing it, it's something that is okay.
Okay, Janet, help us understand the psychology of cheating, especially sexual cheating.
Okay, thank you. So I would look at it in three ways.
Mhm.
The first one is in the mind of a cheat. Actually, it depends on their personality. There's their personality in two ways.
Mhm.
We have people, we have the five big personality traits, and one of the traits is called agreeable and conscientiousness. Yeah. So people who are low on agreeableness, for example, things like sympathy, kindness, honesty, you know, warmness, or what we call warmth, they are likely to cheat. So people who are less agreeable, in the trait of agreeableness, are less likely to cheat. They are not warm. They are not
They're
empathetic. Yeah, they are not empathetic. And then we also have these people who are
They are likely to be cheated.
they are likely to cheat.
Those ones who are not warm.
No, those who are by themselves, they are not warm. You know, maybe as a couple, one of you is not warm, one of you is less empathetic, you're rough, you're not kind, you're not appreciative, you are likely to be a cheat. Yeah? And then we also have these people who are low on conscientiousness. So on doing the right things. There are people who love shortcuts. There are people who don't mind when rules are broken. There are people who don't mind the laws of society. They are also likely to cheat. We also have now these other traits that are now individual, that can be lack of self-control. By the way, these traits are things that we teach ourselves. No one is born with self-control, but it is about being intentional. So, self-control, anger, people who are very argumentative, people who are selfish, which is a trait of lack of low on agreeableness. They are likely to cheat. Again, I look at it in terms, the psychology of cheats, I look at it in terms of reasoning. Some people will cheat because of their individual traits, which I believe we are going to talk more about next time. Some people will cheat because of the situation. And some people will cheat because of relationship issues, which brings me to another mountain of psychology. There's something that we refer to as the Bermuda Triangle of marital conflict. That if a couple fails to manage the issue of the triangle, which is sex, money, and time, if a couple does not manage those three things, then they are likely to cheat. One of the couple or both are likely to cheat. So I would divide it in terms of personality, in terms of their reasoning. Some people justify because of who they are. I even had someone telling another person, you've seen my dad. My dad is a cheat. So the apple does not fall far from the tree.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I urge couples actually to manage the Bermuda.
Sex, time, and money.
And money.
Okay.
As you are talking like this, Janet, is there a possibility that cheating is not exclusively a behavioral thing? It can also be an innate thing? Somebody be a born cheat?
Actually, it's not even a born cheat, because it is, I believe, for me, for my personal opinion, cheating is always a choice. It is always intention. You prepare, you just don't bump into someone. So I would say that it is not really, even when I say individual, it is individual because of social inclination, the way someone grew up, the things they saw, what they went through is also, it will bring about cheating. Nature. But it is now nurture. It is now nurture.
More or less, when we
Can
talk
someone
about,
say it's my nature to cheat?
No.
no. Actually, when you talk about psychology of cheating, maybe I can pick on the issue of sex, time, and money. When sex is not so much fulfilled in the marriage, in the mind of one of the spouse, there's a possibility for them to look it elsewhere instead of complaining. When it comes to time, if there is not enough time given, if people maybe are workaholics, you know, that these spouse who are always on the run, on the move, they forget that they married. And you encounter a lot of people telling you, no, we went to look for this thing because my spouse is not available. They are extremely busy. And when it comes to money, a lot of money necessitates, or less money. You can find some women going outside marriage because they wanted to raise some funds for the house. So the psychology is the mind, the pattern that leads somebody just to find him or herself into sexual cheating. And when you talk about selfishness, this guy or this woman is always about her. It's about me. It's about me. They don't practice selflessness in marriage. Yeah. That is my understanding, the psychology of cheating. They don't practice selflessness in marriage. They don't have that time to think of the other. It's about them.
What would we say about a wounded person? Somebody who was wounded when they were young, or wounded as they are growing. Their mind is wounded somewhere, and
Actually, that is a category of people who are vulnerable, who are vulnerable to cheating. If they don't find a spouse who will heed to their needs, they are vulnerable. But it's not a guarantee. They are vulnerable to cheating.
Thank you. As we want to wrap up
Looks like
this show, you want to speak something, Vika?
Just, I wanted to say that, you know, human beings are sexual in nature. And we are born sexual. Yeah? And so that is why when we are born sexual, we are to practice that. And because of the complexity and depravity that is in the world, actually, we must train ourselves on how to practice it and who to practice it with. And that is why in marriage, when we talk about, with my body, I honor you, yeah, it is part of that training, and we are bound towards that particular one person. Yeah. And so going outside that one person, or even going outside by not giving your conjugal rights to that particular person, by even abstaining when you ought to have done it, then it is that sexual. And so in terms of what Janet is saying about the psychology of it, so some of our ways in which we live and practice our sexuality is because of who we are as sexual beings. And then that sexual being also is being trained, yeah, is being trained by the characters around us. And those characters around us should be as well be good. And if the characters are bad, then they will train us the wrong way. And so we tend to be cheats all the time. So for me is that we need in this strong-willed people. Yeah, strong-willed. What we were saying, self-control. She's saying if someone was not able to say no, yeah, to particular things which are within their means, if they are not able to say no, then they are not strong-willed. If they are able to say yes, even to the wrong things, then they are weak-willed. Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
maybe just let me clarify something. There's something Pastor said about nature nurture. When I look at nature, it's really like a genetic predisposition. It is more of inherent traits within an individual, nothing really genetic. And then again, to clarify about the psychology of cheating in men and of course, there are exceptions. The cheating in men is a physical. Cheating in women is
It's
an emotional
yeah.
affair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very true. Men, it's more physical. Women, it's more emotional. That's why a lot of men are caught, and a lot
What do you
of
mean?
women,
Physical affair?
a lot of women are not caught. A lot of men are caught in the act, but a lot of women go walk away with sexual cheating.
You know, it's easy to catch a physical cheat, like someone who engages in the act of sex, than someone who is sexting, someone who's sending signals and deleting the message, because there's a need they're trying to fulfill. By the way, for women, mostly it's attention, it's the need to be treated like a princess and things like that.
To be listened to.
To be listened to.
Yeah,
to be,
at times they create fantasies.
yeah.
And it is very difficult to pin down the woman, because more of their tendency is emotional. They come and sit with you, pastor, in the office for 1 hour, and they are satisfied. You listen to them, they walk away. They are satisfied emotionally.
It's true.
It's true. They come to you and you beat stories, and you're like, oh, they bring their successes to you.
Whereas a man is saying, yeah.
They bring their successes to you.
We are so close, eh?
Their successes to you. Maybe they have graduated, they send you pictures, and you're like, congratulations. Actually, to pin down a woman, unless
I
otherwise.
understand.
For men, it is more physical, which they are easily caught.
The act, men.
Actually,
acts,
the
the real
men is
acts.
the act, but women is the emotion.
A man actually cannot stand a long emotional affair.
No.
They'll just tell you, "Si unipe."
But
Yeah.
a woman
Yeah.
can continue.
A woman can continue for years on end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is-
There are these actually women who just
I'm
want
a pastor,
to call.
let me keep quiet.
There are these women who want to call you. There are these women, pastor, I want to speak to you at night. And you look at it, it's not prayer. It is more of emotional. The husband is not there. Or I want to do this. And you think you're doing your pastoral duties. But on the other end, you are fulfilling an emotional, sexual need.
Actually, you are an emotional object of a person. Pastor, when you tell someone, "I'm proud of you," maybe you just said it, but to them, they hold on to that word. And they feel so good. Yeah.
I know of people. I know of women who've never deleted some messages in their phones. They keep on looking at it, and that's why I was bringing
The
this
Holy Spirit
questions
is
back
now
to
running away.
No, I was bringing this question back to these clerical callers, because their offices are abused, their offices are misused, and their offices are always under attack. And it is good for them to know, because most of their clients are female. You don't find a lot of men running to church. Even Jesus, a lot of people follow Jesus for women. So a lot of pastors fulfill sexual needs without them knowing. They think they are binding the demon, and it's not that. That is not the case.
They're managing the demon.
You're not managing the demon. You're satisfying. You are actually.
Okay, proceed to another level.
Let me finish. You're actually fulfilling a sexual need.
That's why some people are specific. They want to talk to pastor.
Very
not
specific.
anyone else. Yeah.
Very specific. Even
They'd rather go away with their problem.
Thank you.
Anyway, having
And
said
now,
that, let us not cast that one on stone. It is one of the things that happens. But a pastor does a lot of many good things.
Thank you.
A woman can perceive it that way, but it's up to us to help them to get the right thing and to get them into the right path.
Thank you.
Sometimes, when we say that in a public like this, somebody may conclude that is what happens. But it's not always, that is not always that which is happening. It's not always that when someone calls you, it's because they are looking for that. It's not always that when we speak to them, they are getting it. We need also to be conscious about that.
We were trying to give examples on the emotional and the physical. Men are physical, women are emotional. And just trying to say some of the things that happen, but we cannot cast on a stone.
And we're not saying that emotional affairs lead to physical affairs.
Yeah.
And I want us to know that we engage in affairs with people we know, rarely with people we don't know. I meet my colleague, we talk, and from that, an affair can come out. So most affairs are built from people we know, people we interact with, people we share what I call conversational intimacy. I revealed my issues. Yeah, it is conversational intimacy. So these affairs are built out of people we know, people we talk to daily, rarely people outside our circle.
I know it looks safe because you'll say it's your colleague.
Yeah.
You'll say it's my driver, it's my house help. It will look safe, and probably it leads into something else and something else. Now we want, because of time, it's been a very interesting conversation. We will continue with season 2 on sexual cheating. We've just discussed issues about understanding what are some of the types, the behaviors, the involvement, and the psychology of cheating. I just want to take this opportunity to thank our psychologist counselor, Janet Surumki Plagat, our own Vicar Belgut, SEK Parish, Nicholas Rotich, and the host of the show, Reverend Allan. It's been a pleasure having you around. Thank you. See you next time.